All right. God, what the fuck was that? I was going to say all right, and I just fucking gurgled. All right, this is going to be completely from the hip, right off the top of my head. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about, like, EPA or not, or whatever the fuck, but I was kind of trying to lean more towards this subject. Cars aren't made for consumers. Cars are made for consumers to make money for the dealership or the manufacturer, but cars are not made for consumers. Things that are made for consumers should be consumer friendly. Things should be taken into account to make sure that the consumer that is purchasing said product should be able to utilize the product to its fullest. And that means in every single sector that involves what it is that has to do with the product that you bought. Cars today are becoming more utensils like forks and knives than cars. You just fucking eat with it and you throw it in the sink and you grab another one. That's it. The only problem with that is forks are cheap. You can replace them. You can buy another one. And typically, they last you your entire life and shouldn't ever need to buy one. We're treating $30,000+ worth of metal as something that's expendable. So, I mean, do you have 30 grand to just throw? And I mean 30 grand lightly. That's base model and before it's marked up by the manufacturer or the dealership that's selling it to you. I'm talking like 30 grand for like something that has 4 engines and a wheel, and complicated 4 engines and a wheel, but something, or did I say 4 engines and a wheel? I meant an engine and 4 wheels. But 40 grand is like probably the average price for cars right now. $40,000. Do you have 40 grand to just throw into another car and, oh, well, I get to make monthly payments? That's dumb. Monthly payments are dumb. I made that mistake. Having a monthly payment is such a financial burden. Like, just being in that form of constant debt, it's never worth it in any situation, no matter what anybody tells you, unless you can use that debt to leverage to help you make more money somehow. But just to have negative equity in something is just a fucking waste. It's an absolute waste. So, back to what I was actually trying to say. Cars aren't made for consumers. They're not. Not modern cars. Pre-2010, maybe? Like, let me think. So, 2015, like 2012, maybe, like 2014 and lower is more consumer friendly. You can fix things. You can also fix things on cars today. You're going to be paying a lot of fucking money. It's going to take a lot of fucking time. And chances are the car's just going to fucking break in the same exact way that it was fixed before. I think I talked about it in my other video, like where you're not able to make repairs on cars because the diagnostic process is like this fucking stupid thing. Here's the deal. I was having a conversation about this with one of my coworkers. There is a V6 engine called the Pentastar V6 that comes in a lot of Chrysler products. At my previous job, I worked on a bunch of them. The oil coolers go out on them all the time, and it has a high pressure and a low pressure oil pump system. You got to take the entire fucking engine apart to get to these, fuel pump, oil pump sensors, the high pressure, low pressure, whatever. Mind you, the engine is getting full pressure at all times, but if it's out of specification just a little bit, just a tiny bit, it throws a check engine light. Now you have to pay thousands of dollars to get this fixed. It's not going to pass state inspection on that check engine light's on. You got to pay thousands of dollars to take the entire engine apart for a fucking one sensor. For one sensor. It doesn't change how the car runs. The oil is still circulating through the engine. It's fine. It's completely fine. But nope. You got to pay thousands of dollars to get it fixed because the state wants you to have, maybe not in Connecticut or Florida or whatever, or no, maybe it does need to pass for emissions, I don't know. But if you live in an emission state, you're screwed. You are fucked. You have to pay thousands of dollars because, well, I got a deal in the car. I only have to pay like $400 a month, and you know my insurance is only $200, so I'm only paying for this car $600 a month. Yeah, you're paying for a car $600 a month. You know, you're over your mileage. You got 100 something thousand on it. You know, and you're still making payments for another 4 years, and now you got to do $3,000 worth of repairs on top of your payments. Let's say, let's think of it this way. You get one paycheck. The average paycheck in America is probably like $800, you know, a week. The average. You'd have to spend, so technically, if you think about it, you just spent over a month of your life of working your job to fix an oil sensor on your car because the state says it needs to be fixed. You spend 1 month of your life fixing the car. And that's just to fix the car. And you got to pay for tires. Oil changes are more expensive now. Putting gas in it. For cars on the road nowadays, a majority, it's $100 a week in gas. You know, unless you drive something more fuel economic. But these engines still aren't getting massive amounts of fuel economy, especially the 6-cylinder and 8-cylinders. And to be honest, even the 4-cylinders, like, oh, I got a 4-cylinder, it's efficient. I just hopped in a newer Camry. The thing was averaging 24. Yeah, I'm averaging 24 in my Ford Ranger, which weighs double the amount of that car. I just drive it more efficiently. Like, these engines aren't exactly, you know, making 50 mpgs unless you're driving a Prius or some type of hybrid. And if you are going to get that car, you're still paying out the ass. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, you're not saving the earth or saving money or you know, I'm going to make a better decision here. No, keep your old car. Get out of your payment. Keep your old car. If you bought anything German over the past 10 years, you're pretty much screwed. If you bought anything Chrysler over the past 10 years, you're pretty much screwed. If you bought anything Chevy or Ford over the past 10 years, you're pretty much screwed. Unless you're actually like handy. You know, like, okay, so now you got to fix and spend thousands of dollars to fix your car. Phenomenal. Cars today aren't made for the consumer. I was having another conversation with one of my coworkers. I said, why did they get rid of distributors? He said, well, because they were having problems. You know, they'd get wet and then they'd, you know, they wouldn't be, they wouldn't work properly. They'd start arcing, or then they built up carbon on the end of the shaft that goes, you know, on the 4-cylinder engines of the time on cam, you know, and then they'd stop working. It's like, okay, well, what was the solution? Well, now we have electronic ignition systems. Okay, great, we have electronic ignition. That's phenomenal. But did that solve the problem? No, it didn't. Did it make anything more efficient? For the EPA, probably. For consumers, no. Great, now we have an entire module. That's great. So now when the module stops working, instead of it being a $40 distributor, now we're paying $1,000 to replace the module, the harness, the coils. We're not... Cars aren't getting more efficient. Like, we say, oh, this is efficient. Yeah, it depends on where you're looking at. If you think Apple CarPlay and air-conditioned seats are efficiency, that's complete lunacy. Those are luxuries. That's not the future. The future is the advancement of technology, but you also need to take into consideration how the technology is being used. If you want to push out the mechanic, that's fine. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Push out the mechanic. See what that does for you. Because people right now don't have the money. None of the car manufacturer has the balls to come up with an idea of making a car about, you know, fighting the system. I was gonna make this a separate video, but now that I'm into it now, Dodge is like trying to, like, you know, dip their toe into the electric car market, you know, with their new Charger or whatever. Well, you know what? They're a bunch of cowards, okay? Because if they really wanted to make an electric car, Dodge would have done something completely out of this world, just like they've done with all of their cars. And they would have done it in a way that, you know, they should have made like a completely like stripped down rear wheel drive, you know, electric car with none of the actual amenities on it and just made this really cool electric car. But they didn't. We abide by the standards. We put fake exhausts on it to make you believe you're buying something that you actually want. It's like buying a fucking veggie burger, which defeats the entire purpose of being like a vegetarian or, you know, or being a vegan or whatever. You're eating a fucking burger. It's in the shape of a burger, which is usually made from beef. You're lying to yourself, telling yourself it's a burger, but it's not. It's a fucking veggie burger. And this is what we're fucking doing with these cars. We're telling ourselves, like, this is the alternative, but it's not. It's really not. It's not better in any way. It's, you know, we are trying to, you know, fool ourselves. People need to stop buying new cars. Every single person I talk to, you know, my car's getting a little old. I think I need to get another one. No. Everybody is obsessed with the status of owning a new vehicle. Stop. You don't need it. I made that mistake. I bought a new truck thinking that, you know what, I need a truck. I thought I was being responsible. Boy, was I wrong. I should have gotten early 2000s Ford Ranger and said, fuck it, and not bought a new one. But this is the thing. I'm trying to teach people so they don't have this issue. People are going to do what they want anyway. Don't buy new cars. Do not buy new cars. Keep your old car. Person I know has a Hyundai. She, you know, needs tires, brakes, whatever. It had a check engine light on for something simple, whatever. Yeah, you know, the car, it's got 70,000 miles on it. She's like, yeah, you know, the car's getting a little old. I think I want to get another one. I'm like, no. Do not get another one. Make sure the oil's topped off on it because it's a Hyundai, and drive that puppy to the ground. People need to stop with this like upgrade and trade mentality. Like, I get it. You want to you want the real estate aspect where you want to buy your house, invest in it, and trade up and, you know, get your next best thing. Well, if it's not the best thing for your money, you know, then, you know, you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, but you're also making other people money by doing this. You're making these manufacturers money by doing this. It's like, yeah, you're getting a better deal. This is what they want. They want you to buy a new car. That's the whole point. They're manufacturers. That's their job, is to sell you on a car. There's no passion behind it. There's no soul behind it. They don't give a fuck about you and whether you're late to work because the car doesn't work. They don't care. They just want your money because they need to keep the company afloat. Not even because they need to keep the people who work there in jobs. Because if they need to make labor cutoffs because they're not making the money, they would have no problem doing that. They're not making cars consumer friendly. They want them to be expendable utensils that you can just throw away when they're done. But here's the thing. It's gonna backfire. It will. It's not a matter of if, it's when. It will 100% backfire. And what's going to happen is there's going to be this influx of people, one, buying used older cars, and these mechanics, it's like they created a new job that they didn't intend. They're forcing them out of their own field, and they're re-engineering a new field. Not that they're creating. They don't give a fuck. They think that, you know, the mechanics should just shut up and, you know, keep working. People are doing their own thing and are coming up with better solutions to these modern day problems. I was talking about this in my other video. Oh, got a leak in evap? Fuck it. Cap it off. You know, shut the engine light off, and as long as the monitors are off, take that bitch to the fucking, or as long as the monitors are cleared, except for the evap, you only need one not to pass, take that bitch to the state inspections right now, pass it, and then the check engine light's going to come back on 100 miles. Because that's where we've become. That's what we've become to get cars to, you know, function properly. We have to cheat. We literally have to cheat how to, you know, get cars to pass these modern day standards that are being put on us. It's not right, but like the second my catalytic converter on my truck goes out and I get a P0420, I'm either putting a straight downpipe on it or I'm putting an O2 extender on it, because I'm not paying, you know, $1,000 fucking dollars to buy a new cat for my truck. Let's actually look at it. Let me look this up really quick. 2022 Ford Ranger catalytic converter. All right, let's see. Well, how much do they go for? Doesn't even show, probably because it's so new. Do they even sell them? Oh, $1,400. There you go, $1,400. What a joke. What an absolute joke. So I'd have to pay. So just think about it this way. I would do it myself. It would be $1,400 for me to fix it myself. Now, imagine paying the labor on top of fixing yourself, on top of your car payment, on top of the gas you spent, and the oil changes you did, on the tires you bought, and the brakes you put on. You're into the car for $5,000 already, and you didn't even, you're barely even scraping the surface. Like, nobody has the money to live nowadays, and people are greedy. People, it's not just the manufacturer's fault. People are greedy. People do want to buy new cars, but they're not consumer friendly. And what's happening is that they're getting suckered into buying these newer cars, and they just don't end up working in the way they want. You know, like, I remember when I worked at a Firestone, a guy with an F-150 came in. It was a 2018, and I think he was still making payments on it. He had a 98 F-150, and he had a 2018 F-150. And he had this weird fucking clunking noise coming from the front end. The thing was just out of his warranty. I think he had like 70K. He had like a 3-year 60K or something like that. I don't know, but it was just out of his warranty. And then the thing, every once in a while, when you accelerated, it would go in the front end. We never found it. It would go da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun. Like something was fucking whacking in his transfer case. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Me and him drove it for like an hour trying to figure out what the problem was. Got it up on a lift. If there's no load on it, it doesn't make a noise. We're like, what the fuck is this? Never figured it out. And the thing was just it was just so, like, he's like, you know what? He's like, my fucking 98 F-150 is quieter than this fucking thing. He goes, he's like, I don't know why. He says, new cars, he says, they're just fucking shit. Like, all this innovative technology. Yeah, all this innovative technology. When you're making a car, you need to think of multiple things. First thing is, well, I have an idea for a car. What should it be? After you figure out what should it be, it's, how do I make this function properly? How do I make this, sorry, I keep looking at the screen of the camera. I don't know. I'm just going to, how do I make this function properly? How do I make it efficient? What market am I selling it to? And the market of people that I'm selling it to, how do I make it more consumer friendly? How do I make it so the parts are more, readily available? How should it be designed so that in all of these unthought of scenarios, it will be, better optimized? How, like, you gotta think about all of these things. Like, what do we see in the short-term financial gains in these cars? What do we see in the long-term financial gains? Will these cars be so reliable that it'll, create this influx of people will just be keeping them, and they'll be buying parts from us to fix them? And, the parts that we're buying to fix them, are they affordable? Well, what's more problematic? What is going to go wrong in this car? Let's I'm all in favor for, companies doing like little test batches of these cars to like narrow down the little issues that they may have, if they have a new idea or not. Obviously, it costs money. They're not going to do that. They're going to think that they're going to put something together that works, and they're just going to ship it and say, yep, that's good enough. The consumer will buy it, because you know what? The consumer will buy it because it has JBL speakers and the A-pillars, and it has air-conditioned seats and a cooler in the trunk that is so fucking unnecessary. And people are like, the MSRP, it's like, oh, cars have like more than double inflated. Yeah, no fucking shit. Do you need Apple CarPlay? No, you don't. The fact that it's shit like that's becoming standard on cars nowadays is ridiculous. Why? Why can't I buy a stripped down Ford Ranger. Why are, like, it makes me laugh because it's like, you know, electric windows are a norm now. Heated seats are coming to be more of a norm now in every car. You know, all of these little bells and whistles for climate control are becoming a norm now. Fucking that Lincoln that has like a cooler in the center console. It's just like, you know, Mercedes had telephones in their cars in the 80s and 90s. You know, there's a reason they did away with things like that. They just didn't see it as viable. You know, technology, like in the earlier 2000s, you plugged in an aux cord to a cassette and you shoved it in the disc tray. Well, that didn't come until later. What you did is what you actually had were called cassettes, and you put them in and you played whatever music you wanted. Okay, fine. You want to connect your phone now? Phenomenal. Because guess what? You can't fucking do that either. Because we get cars coming in that, well, the new Apple update doesn't connect to this car, and because the phone updated, now it doesn't sync with the car, and we can't update the car because the manufacturer of the phone is making it. Okay, well, did you try plugging it in? Yeah, okay, so now you have this special, because all the phones got converted to USB-C now. Oh, my car doesn't have a USB-C port. Okay, well, now I need to buy an adapter for my USB-C port to plug into my car to get it to work. And oh, great. Now the cigarette, it's not, oh God, I don't have the USB port. I need a cigarette lighter adapter to an adapter USB to USB-C. And it's getting to the point, things are changing too fast to the point where nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Technology is supposed to be advanced. We're integrating different fields into technology. Cars should be an own independent. No, like the more things you're adding into the equation, the manufacturers are giving themselves headaches. They're giving consumers headaches. The EPA standards are, not only are the EPA standards are fucking us too, that's making it give more headache. Like, why can't you buy a car nowadays with crank windows? Because the parts are illegitimate, because they're trying to push you forward into the future, and they think that there's no market for things like that. They're going bankrupt now. They're hemorrhaging money now. I gotta talk quiet. My son's sleeping. Sorry. But these companies are losing money now. All right, I gotta make this quick. The companies are losing money now. They should just stay in their lane. All right, I gotta help him. All right, I'm going to have to cut this short. I have family to attend to. Yeah, so I'll pick this up in another video. So you get my 20-minute spiel.